doing 100% as hard as you can for say 20 to 30 seconds. Hey guys, Mark McKillier here with Live Anabolic, and today I got 5 really cool isometric exercises for you guys. Never done these before, alright, so stick around because at the very end, I'm also going to show you guys with bad knees a trick that you can use to accomplish one of these isometric exercises that won't hurt. Alright, so what is an isometric exercise, right? Normally, when we work out at the gym, at home, it doesn't matter. We're talking about working your muscles through a full range of motion, all right? So a curl, this would be at the bottom of the range, and this is the top of the range if we were working our biceps. Same thing goes with every other muscle group, right? Isometric exercises are completely different. Man, we're gonna be tensing our muscles without moving them. So our joints are gonna be static, our muscles are not gonna change in length, all right? But we're going to exert ourselves really difficult or really hard against another immovable object, right? So guys, it can be really difficult if you put enough effort into it. Now, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about real quick, and that's the mind-muscle connection. So if I'm lifting a dumbbell and I'm doing curls, all right, I know I have to put a certain amount of effort to get that dumbbell from here to here, okay? It goes without saying. The only thing difficult is doing this a lot of times, right? That's when you start to fatigue. So when we're doing an isometric exercise, we're not moving our muscles at all, okay? They're staying static. So I'm having to add a resistance, a counteracting resistance, all right? That's the exact same amount as the bicep is contracting. So how hard you push against yourself or against the wall or whatever is how much you're going to get out of it. So that effort can be anywhere from 0% to 100% max effort, all right? That's why I think doing these are a little more difficult, because it's really hard to force your muscles to contract at 100%, all right? Now, first of all, we don't have to do 100%, all right? But I want you guys doing at least 70 to 80% effort when we're contracting our muscles. And I'm not just talking about your bicep, I'm talking about whatever muscle group we're gonna be hitting in these next 5 movements, all right? So that's the deal. Now, the second part of this is, and this is a little more difficult too, is it's a time-based type of an exercise. Because normally we count reps, right? We count reps and sets. In this case, it's going to be time or seconds. So we're going to hold, okay, these movements for a certain length of time. Now, today I'm just going to give you 5 really good exercises to do. This is not a workout program per se. I'm not telling you how many seconds to hold these exercises. I'm not telling you how many sets. I'm not telling you the rest time or anything, okay? I want to just throw these out there for you guys to be able to understand. And of course, guess what? There's absolutely no equipment, all right? No dumbbells, no bands, no nothing. So, you know, you're traveling on the road, no excuses. You can still do these basically anywhere, all right? So the very first exercise is called a prayer squeeze. Now, I selected these 5 different exercises because they hit 5 different muscle groups in our body, okay? I'm trying to show you how to work lots of different, you know, muscle groups as opposed to just focusing on a single muscle group like your arms, all right? So a prayer squeeze, we're just gonna put our hands together like this, and I'm literally gonna squeeze my hands together as hard as I can, all right? So when you're doing, and I say hard, okay, as I can, that's 100%. So you might just do 70%, you might do 90%, or just doing 100% as hard as you can for say 20 to 30 seconds. And then the other thing is, guys, when you're doing this really hard, you tend to hold your breath, okay? You gotta make sure, even though you're squeezing really hard, you continue to breathe in and out, all right? So what are we doing here? So I'm contracting my arms this way. I have an equal force from the right side and the left side. That's why I'm not moving back and forth, okay? And what muscles are contracting here, all right? So when you're pushing together like this, You're using your chest, your pecs, all right? You're also using some of your shoulders, all right? Your shoulder engages your upper arm and brings it across your chest, okay? And to a lesser extent, you're using your triceps, okay? So that prayer squeeze really gets a lot of different little muscle groups in our upper body. I suggest you guys just use a smartphone or your watch if you want to. You can take it off and put it someplace where you can look at it, and then try doing these exercises. I would say let's start off for 20 seconds, all right? 15 to 20 seconds, really hard. If you think that's a little too easy, just bump it up to about 30 seconds, all right? So that's a normal length of time that you would do a typical isometric exercise. Exercise number 2, guys, it's not just upper body exercises that we do with isometric stuff. We're gonna hit our lower body. Guys, the squat, of course, is the mother of all lower body exercises, and our legs are so big. They're literally half of the muscle mass in your body. We don't want to neglect for several reasons. One being that they do a great job at sending signals to your brain to ramp up production of testosterone. And I've shot lots of videos about the importance of testosterone, not just in building muscle, but also in burning fat. So I don't want to leave legs out when it comes to isometric exercise. So a low squat, remember, we're not going to be moving, all right? We got to hold these positions. It's just this. You go down, and I like to come down until my elbows touch my knees, okay? And that tells me I'm pretty much at the bottom of a typical squat. And guess what? You just hold it, all right? So this is not an exercise like the prayer squeeze. I'm not pushing as hard as I can. I'm just resisting gravity, but I'm resisting it in a really uncomfortable position here, right? So knock out about 20 to 30 seconds like this, all right? So I'm not really squeezing, okay? I'm just holding still. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm not bouncing up and down, all right? And then after a certain time, stand up, give yourself a rest. Now that would be considered one set, all right? Now, guys, play around with the amount of rest in between these sets, all right? Isometric exercises are pretty unique. Some of you guys may find that you don't need as much rest, okay? And it depends on what muscle group that we're working, all right? So if 20 to 30 seconds wasn't that hard, okay? What I want you to do is cut your rest periods down in between sets and or increase the amount of time that you hold that low squat. Okay, exercise number 3, we're moving back up to our upper body. So this is something called self-arm wrestling. Kind of unique, right? This is an exercise that's going to target our biceps and our triceps at the same time. And just due to the nature of it, we can only work one side at a time. So we're going to do our right side first, and then we'll switch over and do the left side. So simple as this, guys. Clasp my hands, okay? So with my right arm, I'm going to be pulling up as hard as I can. I'm going to be flexing my bicep, trying to bring my hand up. With my left hand on top, I'm going to be pushing down with the same amount of force. So I don't want my arms moving up and down. So I'm just going to get, so my arm is at a 90-degree angle here, and then I'm just going to start pushing, all right? So I'm pushing up with my right arm, trying to get my hand up. My left arm is pushing down, and I'm pushing really hard. Now remember, it's hard for me to do too. Even though you're really straining hard, remember to breathe, okay? All right, so normally you would have a timer going with either your smartphone or your watch. Hold this for 20 to 30 seconds. And then shake it out. Give yourself a little rest. Now, instead of doing the right arm again after a short rest period, switch over. We're gonna do our left arm. So left arm is gonna be pushing up, which means my bicep is what's working. Right arm is gonna be pushing down, which means my tricep and your chest is gonna be working. So, so I'm just gonna start. Guys, push it as hard as you can, all right? The nice thing about isometric exercises is it's really hard to hurt yourself, okay? So if I was really doing this and making a workout program out of it, I would have my watch off or my phone, and I'd be checking out the times. It's also hard to talk to you guys and breathe. Okay. All right, so you should be able to feel the lactic acid building up in your muscles, okay? So when I was doing that low squat a minute ago, I could feel my legs start to get sore, okay? Just like if we were doing, you know, full out squats at the gym with a bar on my shoulders. That's because when your muscles are tensed and they're fighting against another force, okay, even if they're not lengthening and shortening, they're still exerting a lot of effort, all right? And that effort is what creates that lactic acid that builds up in the muscles. Then you're forced to stop, and of course, the blood flowing through your muscles helps to flush a lot of that lactic acid out, all right? That's what you need to do. That's what you accomplish when you're resting in between sets. So, you can go back, do the right arm now. And that's one of the nice things about doing one arm exercises, is that while you're doing one arm, the other arm's getting a rest, all right? So you don't have to take a full minute from one arm to the other arm, okay? So I can go from left arm, rest 10 or 15 seconds, and then go right back to my right arm. So give it a try, guys. Remember, you only get out of it what you put into it. So you have to really increase that effort. All right, guys, another isometric exercise that you all, I'm sure, have all done, but you probably didn't even know it was an isometric exercise, and it's called a plank. All right, lots of different ways to do this. Now, I've shot videos before where I'm doing dynamic planks, where I'm actually moving, okay? I'm lifting my legs, my arms, I'm twisting. Remember, we're not doing that. These are static exercises. Isometric means static. We're not moving. So you can do a high plank, all right, where basically you just hold it right here, okay? And remember, while I'm doing this, I can be really flexing my abs, okay? So even though you can't see it, you can be sucking your gut in and flexing your abs while you're holding this for a certain length of time. Or if you guys want, you can do a low plank, same exact thing though, all right? So I'm really tensing my ab muscles. And of course, everything else in my core is forced to stay tensed, otherwise I just sag down to the ground. So you guys experiment depending on your conditioning level. You can do this anywhere from 20 seconds to a minute and a half. Just kind of play with it and see what works best for you. Then of course, after you finish, give yourself a little rest, do it again. Okay, so the fifth and last exercise today, it's got a great name. It's called a bat wing. Now, it's hard to work your back muscles when we're just doing isometric exercises. So this exercise engages a lot of your upper back muscles, your lats, your rhomboids, your traps, okay? But it also engages a lot of your core muscles, all right? So this is what you do. I like to do it on a couch. You can do it on a chair, something that's kind of soft because your elbows are going to be resting on it. So if you do it on like a hard wooden coffee table, it's going to really hurt. So guys, this is it. I'm going to put my elbows on my sides here, okay? Right there. And they're digging into the couch, and I'm just going to slowly walk out here. And I'm just going to get in a nice straight reverse plank position here. But all of my weight right now is being carried by my elbows and then the heels of my feet. All right, so even though it may look like my back is touching these cushions, I'm not letting it sag. I'm pushing my elbows back and bring my chest up, and that forces me to engage my back muscles. And you can really squeeze. It's like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, and when you feel that squeeze, it lifts your chest up off or your back up off the cushions, all right? And at the same time, my entire core is engaged right now. So this is gonna wear me out really quick, especially while I'm talking to you. So let me stand up here, and I'm gonna show you, okay, kind of what's going on when I'm laying down here. So I've got my elbows back, okay, and my elbows are on the couch, and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades and my elbows back as far as I can. And when you do that, see how all those back muscles get engaged? They're all flexed and tensed. So I'm tensing my back like this. And when I bring my elbows back, it lifts my chest up off the cushions of the couch. So guys, trust me, it's gonna take a little practice, but you just practice squeezing those shoulder blades together, getting those elbows back as far behind you as you can. You're really gonna feel that burn in your upper back. And of course, that's exactly what we're shooting for. Okay, for you guys that have bad knees and stuck around till the end now, I promised that I was going to show you a little trick on what you can do in lieu of a body weight isometric squat. So remember guys, if it hurts your knees to just go, oh my gosh, down here and just hold it, all right, in that isometric position, try this instead. Find a wall. It doesn't have to be a door. It can just be a smooth, okay, wall. And I want you to just lean back a bit and then slowly bring your feet out, okay? And then slide down, all right? Now listen to your body, obviously, and go as deep as you can go until your knees start to bother you, all right? Stop there. And now, man, you're just holding it, all right? This is an isometric exercise. And oh my God, my legs are so tense right now. So just holding it and talking to you at the same time is really not very easy. So guys, this will accomplish the same thing as a freestanding body weight isometric squat, all right? So if that hurts your knees, try the wall sit, guys, and let me know what you think. All right, guys, so 5 really clever, creative isometric exercises you can do literally anywhere. You don't have to remember to take your dumbbells or your bands with you. Heck, you can do these at the office if you had to, a lot of them. And remember, you're only gonna get out of these exercises what you put into it. And that means it requires really more mental focus than if you were lifting a dumbbell, because lifting a dumbbell, you know, your brain knows exactly what it takes to get from here to here if you're doing a curl. With isometric exercises, I mean, how hard am I pushing right now? 10%, 20%, 100%? So you're gonna have to focus and force yourself to push your muscles as hard as you can, because the harder you push, the more you get out of it. Remember, it ain't gonna happen overnight. You're gonna stick with it, guys, and never give up on yourself.